The skipper of the Eels, Peter Sterling, leading them out. They started the 88 Winfield Cup with a win last week over Newcastle. Now at home at the Parramatta Stadium for the first time, a good crowd in attendance. There'll be a huge roar to welcome them to the stadium today. Can they overcome the Balmain Tigers? As I mentioned, a much bigger forward pack. Terry Leabeater not down originally to start this game. And there's Sterling leading the Eels onto the stadium for the first time in 1988.
And Steve Roach leaves the Balmain side out. As recently as Thursday night, we expected that Benny Elias would be leading the side on. Just one of many changes that coach Warren Ryan has made, particularly that backline reshuffle. And Kevin Hardwick, the last man out there for the Tigers. But what an encounter this is going to be. You can hear them geeing themselves up as they make their way through the tunnel and onto the Parramatta Stadium. And the referee for today, Mr. Greg McCallum. Time signalled and we're underway with Parramatta kicking off. Glorious sunshine bathing the Parramatta Stadium as Maguire brings it up for the Tigers just short of the quarter line. Now we see Sirinen barging into the Parramatta defence. Terry Leabeater in jumper number 39 for Parramatta. Good defence from Parramatta, keeping the Tigers hemmed into that 22-metre area. First penalty of the game goes to the Tigers. Parramatta too keen up inside the 5 metres.
I suspect that the big men of both sides, the Leabeaters and the Roaches and the other Sirenens, the other real big men, won't appreciate the heat out there. Very innovative.
Now Ross Conlon has decided to have a place kick for the touchline. And it's a good, no, it's not a good kick at all. It's taken by Chalmers, so that was a poor kick from Conlon. So Chalmers takes it up over the halfway mark, and a caution will be issued as Michael Pobji went into the tackle. Referee saw something in there, and the penalty to Parramatta. Sterling, a little kick for touch. And finds it just outside the Balmain quarter. So now it's an opportunity for Parramatta to put something on. The runarounds, it's finally with Ella out to Kenny. But Conlon was very quick to move up on Kenny. Now forward. Caught by Hardwick. Now Sterling up to Kenny. And for Eriksson, and then finally out to Chalmers. Chalmers is in the clear. Chalmers for the corner, but putting the touch.
That was a top-line tackle by Gary Jack there. A perfect fullback tackle, really. Just watch as the State Bank replay gets the action. Here comes Jack. Look at him taking ball and all. There's no question about that. Really a good bit of defence. Great stuff.
And it's against the Eels for going down the front row. And again, he's going to place this ball, Ross Conlon.
The ghost of Jack Gibson lies heavily over Parramatta Oval, doesn't it? This was a Jack Gibson ploy.
Obviously under instructions from his coach, Warren Ryan. This time, no mistake. Into Parramatta territory for the first time they go. Pobji on the runaround. The defence has been strong from the Eels. Rolls. Long ball. Conlon. Sirinen. Hardwick picks it up beautifully. Good backline play, this time out wide by Balmain. Parrish was the man that got onto that final pass. Rolls looks back inside. He goes outside for Roach. So the first real test for the Eels. They've had the run of play so far. 6 minutes into this first half. Sirinen on the charge. They're going to be the problem men, Sirinen and Roach. The big fellas standing and trying to unload. They go the blind through Gale. But they push him into touch. 5 metres out.
Yes, well, Gale thought he saw an opening there on the blind side, but it was just a little bit too far away from the goal line. About 3 yards. The State Bank replay never lies.
Big push from the Tiger forwards. They've come up with the ball against the feed. So it's Rolls, the man that was understudy to Sterling, coming up with the ball that time. He spent a couple of seasons here with the Eels. Gartner, Gale. Back inside it goes. Gartner's on that ball, but a last-ditch tackle there from Michael Mosley, and the ball was lost.
Now the State Bank replay, turning the ball back on the inside there. You see the pass go astray, picked up by a Parramatta player, contested by a Balmain man.
It's a penalty for the Eels to relieve the pressure. Not facing square on. Sterling's the man to look for touch. Billy Anderson, a very solid start by both sides, and one important clash today, that one of Conlon and Kenny. Every time Kenny's had the ball, he's been well and truly wrapped up.
Yes, Conlon's very good, of course, at this umbrella-type defence. He gets on the fringe of the ruck, moves up quickly, but he can't afford to give Kenny any space. Kenny and Sterling, if Parramatta are going to get away with this, well, they're the two men that are going to have absolute blinders.
Leadbeater, they try and work this ball wide. Well, that's a silly pass. He certainly couldn't have seen where that ball was going to be directed. And a caution this time, McCallum calling out Michael Mosley for a caution on the run. Tigers ball. Harry shows the ball but goes alone. Still going, back in field. He met and put down by Leadbeater and also Peter Ford. 32 metres out. Elias. No Shepherd, says McCallum. Maguire. Rolls. Hemsley. Elias. Scott Gale. Being forced back in field, the Balmain backs. Solid defence. Last tackle. Well, there's a scramble here in the play of the ball. Couldn't go anywhere else except against Parramatta. Shake of the head, but you'll see it for yourself.
Yes, the State Bank replay. Scott Gale played the ball very badly, but he considered that he was hard done by Brett Kenny, and he retaliated with a little punch, but it missed.
Plenty of sparks flying in the forwards. And let's see if Conlon can add to his 87 tally of 184 points. Not a problem. The Balmain Tigers hit the front, 2 points to 0.
Earlier games played for you here. Under 21s went to Parramatta, 21 to 18. And reserve grade also to Parramatta, 24-16. There's Rolls, putting it downfield. Growth. Crowd cheers as Growth takes the ball up strongly. Now Bob Lindner from dummy half. That's with Sterling. Now to Ford. But again, Conlon moving up quickly, cutting off a movement before it gets going. Leadbeater. Originally named as a fresh reserve, but finds himself in the starting lineup. Now here's Peter Wynn. The one-handed pass for Eriksson. Fighting his way to the halfway mark. In a very strong game last weekend against Newcastle. Penalty's gone to Parramatta. Tigers up too quickly, too keen. So Sterling will take the penalty. That's the halfway mark you see there. And Sterling finds touch about 35 metres out. Now from this set play, some running around, showing the ball either way. Finally, Growth. This is the sort of area where Bob Lindner can really strike. This is Ford. Now Taylor. Here's Lindner now, but the defence is very good on him. Hardwick in there to make the tackle. Sterling to Kenny to Delroy. But again, full marks to the Tigers' defence. But now the ball is kept alive as Ella gets to the quarter line. Sterling gets out of one. Finally put down on the last tackle. It's a signal for Parramatta as Mosley gets it to Taylor. He's made a mess of it. Knocked backwards and knocked on, in fact, said the referee. And the scrum down.
Yes, two players made a meal of it here. There was the first one, Taylor. I think the referee's going to judge that that was a forward pass. It was a knock-on by Taylor to start with. The feed's gone to Balmain.
Oh, he's having awful trouble with this scrum here. Bit of a dust up in there.
Well, there's plenty that went into that front row. I think when that originally packed down, you would have seen quite a few head clashes from the front row. So, you know, Rex mentioned before, the sparks were flying and something had to be settled.
Well, it looks like they've got down to it and settled it.
You just see the front row here. They were starting to, when they clashed down originally, they buffered it up. The faraway props here, Roach and Liebert, are having something to say. You'll see Steve Roach and them start to pull out of it now. So the hookers, as usual, trying to dominate each other. Well, out of all that, they managed to work it out between themselves, the touch judges and Greg McCallum. Benny shakes his head. Says, "You're better men than me." So this will mean 6 tackles for the Eels inside the Tigers' quarter. So far, the Tigers' defence has been outstanding. They really have cramped the Parramatta backs. Mosley with a quick tap, 5 metres out now. Sterling in the dummy half roll, goes alone. Mosley, Taylor, Kenny. Plenty of defence there, Eriksson. Well, they certainly did lack the numbers in the back line, Parramatta, when they set for themselves for that play. Edner on the charge. He manages a good solid 10 metres out of nothing. Taylor, Sterling, quick ball. On it goes Growth. Ella! Oh, a try's gone begging. Jack's picked it up. Back inside for Elias. He has support in Scotty Gale, Sterling and Gale. And a great tackle from the little halfback. Magnificent counter-attack brings the fans to their feet here at the stadium. Rolls. Hardwick right on the halfway line now. Balmain coming back strongly. Rolls again. Big Steve Roach on the charge. Trying to milk the penalty was Roach. Hemsley. Great defence from the Tigers. They just managed to hang on. The pass went astray. It should have been a try to the Eels, but now they come back through Maguire. The last tackle for the Tigers. Elias with the kick into the in goal. Growth is back there. Slips. Well, does he manage to get out? No, says Greg McCallum. So that's a great kick from Elias and good chasing from Gartner and Gale. And
a very good passage of play by the Tigers. They really worked hard for that. They took all the options that they could. They very close to conceding a try, and they've worked play back 100 yards. That's good stuff in 6.
On the quarter line now. Conlon. Sirenen. Stands for Conlon again. Well, that passes for no one. Well, from one good passage of play to an atrocious passage for the Tigers. And the knock-on. The pass came from Ross Conlon and it went to nobody.
Thought we were back at Tweed Hedge.
Yes, well, thank God Wednesday night's out of the way. And this one has opened up with a flurry of action. Delroy. Ledner. Taken well by Conlon, just short of his own half. Well, he's managed to ruck that back. 6 more, says Greg McCallum. Taylor, Sterling. Back inside for Ella. He has Kenny in support. He's decided to kick. He kicks again. He's been tackled by Hardwick. They'll have to come back for the penalty. I thought he might have originally erred, Ella, when he made the break. And it's 5 minutes in the sin bin for Kevin Hardwick for the foul on Ella. But I still think Ella had Kenny on the outside and should have used him up.
Here it is. Ella put through a gap by Sterling, goes hard. There's the chase for the ball. Hardwick and Ella going at it. And then Ella deliberately tackles him, earns himself 5 minutes in the sin bin. But I've got to say that it's exactly what I would have done under the circumstances. Here again, there's Ella. He had a man on the outside. He had two options, the kick ahead or the man on the outside. I believe he took the wrong option. There's Hardwick taking the odds to it and bringing him down with Popchi back there to clean it up. So the penalty going now to Parramatta directly in front.
And the man that the foul was on, Steve Ella, who had a 100% record against the Knights last week. 6 from 6. There it is. Just short of the quarter line and directly in front. Very deliberate action of Ella's and going back. From right in front, there it is. There's the equaliser at the Parramatta Stadium. The Tigers and the Eels. It's 2-2.
All square at Parramatta Stadium, but an awful mistake from Balmain, failing to find the 10 metres, and the penalty has gone to Parramatta. Benny Elias it was. Conlon shaped as if he was going to kick, but Elias came across and kicked the other way, but kicked very poorly.
Bad execution from Benny Elias, but it was on. Parramatta hadn't had that area of the field covered. Russell Gartner and Scott Garr were really going off at Benny Elias. He only had to make it go to 10, keep it in play, and the ball would have been the Tigers.
As a result, Balmain find that they've given not only the penalty to Parramatta, they've now put themselves on the defence, and here comes Parramatta again launching something. Taylor getting it to Ella. Ella almost through, but takes the tackle 35 metres out from the Balmain line. It's Taylor again, and to Kenny, and Delroy looking to keep the ball alive, but his pass has gone to ground. Play on, said the referee, as Eriksson picks it up. Now trying to link up with his outside backs. He's beaten one. It's still going. Eriksson looks for support. Ella's overrun him, and Eriksson is forced to play it. 32 metres out. Parramatta with Sterling linking up with Ford, getting it out to the big guru, Eric Growth, and Growth will score in the corner. Well, Parramatta full of running. They had the numbers and worked that into the field, and the guru scores.
A classy bit of football here. The cutout pass to Sterling on the blind side. Gets it away nicely there. And then the pass to Growth. And Growth goes hard and strong. Jack comes at him. Doesn't have the power to get him over the sideline. And he's in for a great try. Here again, it was a good cutout pass there. There's Ford on the inside of that. There it goes out to Growth. Now Growth carrying the ball in the correct arm. Is able to use his bend. Knocks Jack's arm down as he comes in strongly. And again, well, it was just too beautiful for words. He's one of the great sights in rugby league. Eric Growth in full cry.
His third try for 1987 for the 28-year-old guru. Steve Ella been successful with his only kick so far. Attempting the conversion of Eric Growth's try, scored about 1.5 metres in from touch, if that. And there is the angle he has to work with. Not missed a goal this season in the Winfield Cup. And he struck this one to the side of the post, so that's his first error. The score remains Parramatta 6, leading Balmain 2.
Taylor, Sterling, cut-out pass for Delroy this time. Delroy with plenty of room to move. He kicks. Well, he's been impeded maybe by Gary Jack. Paul Taylor is on the inside. It's a race between Taylor and Maguire. Taylor will get there now. He's tackled without the ball. Well, this will be an interesting decision. It's a penalty. Very, very close to the possibility of a penalty try here. And again, this will be the sin bin this time for...
Well, here it is again. Delroy in the clear, kicks ahead. He, I thought, was deliberately impeded by Jack, but nonetheless, the play goes on. The referee playing the advantage rule. There was a good sprint for the ball here between Taylor and the number 10, Bruce Maguire, and Maguire appeared, in my view, to bring him down. And I think it's fairly obvious that there could have been a penalty try involved in that. It's up to the referee's discretion. If, in the referee's opinion, a try would undoubtedly have been scored. That's the thing.
He has sent Gary Jack to the sin bin for 5, and Bruce Maguire also lucky not to get a stint in the sin bin. Now they're on the charge, the Eels. Can they find their second try? 5 metres out now from the Tigers' goal line. Balmain back to 12 men yet again. Is it going to cost them another try? Sterling. Kenny! Just short of the line. Desperate defence by Balmain. Good tackle by Benny Elias. Sterling. They've got the numbers. Well, the pass has been intercepted. No, Ford grabs it back. And McCallum says this is a penalty. Deliberately offside the Balmain players. Sterling now with a decision of whether he takes the tap again or goes for goal. McCallum's not happy with his Balmain side. He's calling over the captain, Steve Roach. And now Ross Conlon being called out.
Conlon was offside right at the start of that movement. The referee saw him and waved him back, but he still allowed him to go on.
Well, Sterling again opts for the quick tap. Possibility of 4 points have gone begging in the last couple of minutes. They haven't decided to go for goal. They need the try. Leaveater. Just setting themselves now. They have a big back line. The Eels. Sterling, the kick for the in goal. Kenny's been felled. This could have been a penalty try. Well, again, it's the penalty under the post. I thought he was heading. He sent Kevin Harvick off. It's his second indiscretion. A professional foul. This time he's off and you won't see him again in this game.
Yes, I heartily concur with that decision. It was a deliberate trip over the leg. It just gets beyond the pale when a player continues to do this sort of thing. So there was the little kick through, and it probably could have been a try to Kenny. He's one of the swiftest players on the field. Nonetheless, the referee is still not awarded a penalty. They're still not awarded a penalty try. Sterling going for the big dummy there. Take it, Graham.
Well, he's certainly deciding to keep the ball in play. That was an easy 2 points. Well, Elias has just robbed the ball. This has got to be a penalty. No, he's allowed play to go on. Sterling should have been allowed to play the ball.
So, as it was, Balmain come up with it and trying to desperately get out of this dangerous situation, but they get the penalty. That'll help.
Well, I think Greg McCallum's had a brain explosion, just allowing that to go on there, that little bit of stupidity. That's the whole basis of the game, not deliberately conceding penalties, and Balmain were very consciously conceding penalties there.
Well, Conlon's going to persist in place kicking for touch. Certainly, the action has been coming thick and fast, and Mr. McCallum's had his work cut out. I just wonder, Will Anderson down there on the touchline with Peter Sterling getting so many penalties, he's elected to go for the try all the time. What do you think of that?
Might have been inclined to take the goal, but of course he's working on the theory now that they've only got 11 men on the field and they should be able to come up with a try and the possibility of a conversion. Whether he's right or wrong, we'll know in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, well, here's Balmain via Sirenan. He's kept it alive to Conlon, now to Gale, and out to Matt Parrish. Parrish making his first grade debut in rugby league.
And playing pretty well.
His father would be pretty pleased with that. Well, look at the penalty count. To Parramatta 10-4. Scrum's 3-1 to Balmain, but that penalty count is whopping. Balmain will now try to, obviously with 11 men on the field, one will be back soon, sure, but they'll want to slow things down and settle it a bit. McCallum signals last tackle for the Tigers. They're 10 metres inside the Parramatta half. Rolls, putting it down for Eric Growth. Now here comes the Guru, bumps one off, lost the ball. Picked up by Balmain, but referee McCallum calling it for a knock-on from both sides.
Beautiful sight of Eric Grove belting Scott Gale out of the way. Not great for Scott Gale, I hasten to add. I'm just talking about a rugby league sight. He's a magnificent sight in full cry.
Now, it's come up to Parramatta.
He's missed a knock-on.
And there was a little, he didn't miss it.
No, he didn't miss it.
So this scrum, 15 metres out. Under Balmain, Conlon's come back to the right side and takes the tackle. 12 metres out. Penalty to Balmain. As Gary Jack runs back on for Balmain. The Tigers have got the penalty. There's plenty of pushing and shoving and debating out there.
Well, they've got to take the penalty. They have to do that. That's, in my view, the only sensible thing to do.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Ross Conlon, who's been successful with his only shot at goal, is about 12 metres back from the posts and just to the side of the right hand upright. Quite a simple one for him. And makes no mistake. So the gap is narrowed, with Parramatta leading 6 points to 4. Steve Ella restarts for Parramatta. And we've got about 5 minutes of play remaining. Balmain try to bring it out again. They're just inside their own quarter.
We're through Gary Jack now. He's had a spell in the sin bin. Unloads a good ball there to Matt Parrish, who's played well, but on this occasion he's going to come up with a knock on. A lot of feeling in this match. The scrum will go down about 30 metres out. Very big blindside here in use if Parramatta wish to use it. Lidner, away they go, that blind. Eriksson on the wing trying to work out a leg injury at the moment. Chalmers is the man that, of course, has gone on to that centre position. Lindner, Sterling, the dummy, misses forward, picks up Brett Kenny, goes around, gets the ball back. Ella, oh, brilliantly worked try. It's the old firm. Sterling, Kenny and Ella, magic football, and under the post go the Eels.
Well, if you see better than this, let me know. Beautiful stuff. Linda out there to Sterling, the dummy back on the inside, the run behind, the pass away there to Kenny, the run around, back to Sterling, and then back to Ella. It's just beautiful stuff. Meticulous happening there with absolutely beautiful control of the football. Just a suggestion of a shepherd there at one instance. But here's Sterling, the final pass away to Ella again. They've doubled around twice. It's just beautiful football. From ground level, we'll see it again. Sterling unloads the ball to Kenny. Kenny goes ahead, unloads the ball back to Sterling. Beautiful hands, gets the pass to Ella. The referee directly in line and saw there was no forward pass. Beautiful rugby league.
Super rugby league. There's the man, 27 years of age. Just the one try last year in 87 because of injury. And he's off for the blaze of glory in 88. No problem with the conversion. So it's the Eels now starting to stretch that big lead now to 12 points to 4 over Balmain. Some may say that Ella, Kenny and Sterling were at their best in the early 80s. You're not going to see much better than that last try. Deep kick on the restart from Conlon. That's brought up chalk. That'll be back to halfway and a penalty. The penalties continue to come. Watch the chalk. Right on the line. This will be a penalty to Parramatta right on halfway.
Yes, on the line is out. The touch lines and the dead ball line are in goal.
So inside 2 minutes of play remaining in the first half. Swag of penalties against the Tigers. They've had to do it tough. Tries coming when they've only been 12 men on the field. Let's remember that Hardwick has been sent off. He's not in the bin. He'll take no further part. Peter Wynn stepping out of tackles. Peter forward. Backing up is Chalmers. Chalmers still going, brushing off tackles. Brought down by Jack. He had to pull off a last-ditch tackle. Well, he's been kicked in the face as he tried to play that ball.
He also should be slapped on a 402 for overacting.
Taylor out wide. Lidner, this has got to be a try. The numbers game again as he forces his way out. Running out of players was the Balmain defence. And the Eels again celebrating.
Beautiful rugby league. They have the options here with tons of overlaps galore. Sterling, away it went there to Taylor. Taylor threw a long overhead pass, a cutout pass, which went out to Linda. Linda decided to sprint, and you can see Gary Jack come and take him in a copybook tackle, but not in time. The goal line crept up on him. There it is, the long cutout pass from Taylor to Linda. Linda sights the opening and goes. Gary Jack valiantly tried to tackle him, but there was no way. It was all too close to the line.
25 years of age and one of the better players in the state of origin, of course. A great danger man out wide. Ton of pace for a back rower. A great Sunday afternoon at Parramatta Stadium, and the Eels supporters out in force and enjoying a super first half for the Parramatta side.
They've all been to church of different denominations praying for a Parramatta win all morning, and now they're here watching it.
Well, the prayers have certainly been answered so far in the first 40 minutes. All eyes on Steve Ella. Out wide near the touchline. Meets that one well, but it won't come around. So there'll be no more change to that scoreline at the halftime break. And a big one to Parramatta. The Eels 16, the Tigers 4.
10 Sports Action bringing you the State Bank big game. And there's the scoreline at half-time. Parramatta 16 over Balmain 4. Not good news for Parramatta, though. There's a couple of changes been made. And the most significant, on the wing, Eric Groth has been taken to hospital for x-rays for a suspected fractured arm. He's been replaced by that man there, Danny Krankovic, wearing jumper number 14. And the other replacement is Brett Scott, who's on there for Michael Erickson. No changes in the Balmain side as we're underway for the second half. I'm sure Parramatta fans and fans everywhere will be keeping their fingers crossed that Groth does not have a fractured arm. It's been a number of them this year. Now here's Scott. First touch of the football in first grade today. And there are the leading tacklers for both sides. As Balmain pick up a loose ball, spinning it wide. Here's Conlon getting it out to Parrish. Parrish for the line. Parrish still going. Parrish will score. Matt Parrish, the son of Don Parrish, his first year of rugby league, has scored for the Balmain Tigers.
Well, the thing wrong with the Parramatta defence on this occasion was they all came across in a bunch. They were all four of them coming across very fast. I hope we pick it up on the end of the replay. Balmain just used quick hands. Look at the charge here. They're all there, and they all overrun him as he props on his left foot and comes back on the inside. He's just literally, with one sidestep, has beaten four players. You'll see it again from here as Ella loses the ball on the tackle. Our friend Benny Elias is quick enough to realise there's a try on, so they move it very fast to the left. There's Conlon, the pass out to young Parrish. There's the four of them all overrun him. He steps off the left foot, comes back on the inside and scores a try. Astonishing.
Matt Parrish. What a start for him, and what a start in the second half for Balmain. And Ross Conlon, who has had 2 from 2 so far. And that's the ideal start that Balmain were looking for in the second half. And that's the angle that Conlon has to work with. 11 metres in from touch. Strikes it particularly well. Magnificent goal from Conlon. And the Tigers are back in the match. Here is the score. Parramatta 16, Balmain 10. Steve Ella about to restart for Parramatta in very hot conditions out here. Bill Anderson, it must be pretty hot for the big men.
Yes, it is, and in that respect, Balmain are probably the side that are going to suffer the most. I think you can overcome a one-man deficiency, but in heat such as this, when you're down to 12, it makes it particularly hard on your forwards, and maybe that's what's going to be Balmain's biggest problem in this second half.
Reminding you that Kevin Hardwick sent from the field in the 31st minute of the match. Don't know exactly what the charge is, but he'd already been in the sin bin for professional fouls and appeared to use a trip. He was sent from the field.
Rolls has fallen over 3 times on the blind side of the ruck here.
Yes, he's in trouble as the Tigers bring it. There's Rolls there getting the water. The Tigers trying to get out of this danger area now, and they've done it beautifully as Bruce Maguire gets to halfway, still going, looks for support. But the referee has called hell, and it's a turnover. And now it's a penalty.
Well, the referee judged that he was tackled. The hand or arm holding the ball came in contact with the ground, or his forward progress was stopped. So that's exactly what happened on that occasion. He was held there, and the referee has judged that the tackle took place, so hence the penalty.
Well, this kick is found touch just outside the quarter. So Parramatta back on the attack again as Mosley is hitting a pretty solid tackle from Maguire. Playing it forward. It's an easy 5 he's made. Sterling gets it out to Lebeater. Balmain forwards charge at him. 12 metres out from the Balmain line. Away goes Wynn. Parramatta setting themselves for something as Mosley switches it blindside to Sterling. Running off him with Ford, put it down. Gale fell on it for Balmain, but he knocked it on trying to do so. So the referee puts the scrum down.
Yes, the State Bank replay, the beautiful quick hands of Sterling, completely flummoxed number 10 there, Wynn, who was unable to grasp the ball, but the pass was a good one. But there was a double knock on. Anyway, there's a penalty gone now to Balmain for Parramatta moving off the mark.
That'll relieve the pressure for the Tigers. Conlon again will persist with the place kick for touch. So that'll take play just past the quarter line. There's the missed tackles. Warren Ryan would have had plenty to say at half-time on that man-on-man defence. 14 missed tackles by Balmain. Let's remember they were down to 12 men though, and a whole swag of penalties against them. Parrish, he's been very involved in his first game in big league. Gary Jack, well, he gets that ball back and says thank you. Terry Lebeater. Mosley. Peter Ford, just outside the quarter line. Sterling giving the impression of working play away just to try and set up for this back line again. Lebeater. He unloads. Sterling picks it up. Goes wide for Lindner. Well wrapped up by Ross Conlon. Read that play extremely well. Peter Wynn. Still going. Back to Taylor. Out wide he goes for Krankovic for the corner. Gartner's there. And a good tackle from Russell Gartner. Certainly was called for.
Pass here coming from Taylor, the long lobby pass. There he goes. That's about the third pass he's got away like that. And they've all been good ones. Out to Krankovic. And in comes Gartner with a good driving tackle that gets him over the sideline.
Balmain ball from the scrum. Billy, you're down close to the sideline. He's still struggling, that David Rolls.
Yeah, struggling very much, David. He got a hit in the just a little bit high, I thought, about 5 or 10 minutes ago, Graham, and he hasn't improved at all. I think Balmain will have to do something about it and pull him off.
What about this Parramatta play in the second half?
Well, it's been a change from what they did in the first half. It was very noticeable to me in the first half that all they did was simply wrap the football. And, of course, if you're trying to defend against that, it's very tiring because you're constantly shuffling your defence.
Well, Parramatta back on the charge now. Another mistake from the Tigers. Gale couldn't control that football. Lindner, Taylor. Beautiful pass to Kenny. That's a try. They won't stop him from there. Magnificent ball, though. Put that down to Paul Taylor. He and Sterling controlling the passes, one off the ruck, and he held that ball up magically for Kenny.
Beautiful acceleration here. Great to see Kenny in this sort of form. Look at the weave. The beautiful step he goes. There's the acceleration on the outside. Goes round, scores a try. Very, very clever. And it was a lovely pass coming from Taylor. Sucked the defence to him. Kenny was able to straighten immediately, run to the gap. Just a clutching hand on the jumper, but there's a good try.
Well, there he is, Brett Kenny. Some say a very disappointing season in 87. Back with a vengeance in 86. Gary Freeman is out there on the field for David Rolls, although he's moving back towards the sideline now. Shake of the head. He's not required at this stage. 2 from 4 for Steve Ella. There he is, just outside the quarter, about 15 metres to the side of the post. There's David Rolls still there with the Tigers. The trainer's trying to move him to the sideline. Ella. Again, that's being waved away. So the scoreline, Parramatta 20, Balmain 10.
And there goes Rolls, finally succumbing to that head injury, and Gary Freeman, who was dramatically dropped from this side for being late for training, had played the full reserve grade game, now finds himself back on. It may only be a head bin. We shall just have to wait and see.
Officially just over 18,000 here at the Parramatta Stadium today, watching a spectacular and pretty controversial clash. Scott. So Gary Vernon has moved to the sideline for Parramatta. Terry Leabeater will be the man to come off. He's played strongly. Played excellently for the Eels today. Sterling on the short blind. Looks for Ella. Chalmers, there's very little room to move there, and they easily force him into touch. Clint Robinson in 19 there for Balmain. Change for the Tigers. And Scotty Gale, the man to come off. Not seeming to stretch right out. He's been favouring the leg. And Terry Leabeater, there'll be a big reception for his performance. Kenny. Conlon managed to hang on, but he unloaded to Chalmers. There's the scoreline, 20-10. The Eels are about to add to it. Kenny goes wide, looks for Ella. Ella's wrapped up. Ball comes back for Delroy. Finds a short gap, about 32 metres out now from the Tigers' line. Taylor swivels out of one. Oh, this is the revenge for the Eels. They were hammered in the opener here at the stadium last year by the Tigers. Scott played well in reserve grade. Quickly to his feet now. Mosley switches play for Taylor. Out wide for Krankovic. That ball took its time to come out here, though. Delroy. Last tackle. This Tigers defence just holding. Sterling with the kick. The ball was touched in flight, so everybody's onside. Pobji. Lindner trying to force him back in goal. Manages to stay a metre out. Jack wants the ball quickly. And the penalty to the Tigers, that'll be against Peter Ford for not standing directly in front in the play of the ball. It is David Rolls coming back from the head bin. So Gary Freeman will be the man to leave the field. Now he is moving to the sideline, and with time down to 23 minutes left in this second half, Conlon still with this place kick for touch.
Wasting time.
Just short of the quarter line. Gardner. Rolls. Conlon. Long cutout balls. Parrish has put it down. Picked up by Kenny. Well, Conlon and Bobby Lindner having a major disagreement in back play. Sterling calls for the football. Scott. Well, there's been plenty of exchanges. Not the place for the faint-hearted today, the Parramatta Stadium. Mosley taps it and goes ahead. Crowd calling for another Parramatta try. Dummy there from Vernon. Back it goes Mosley. Sterling can't handle it. Scott. Play on, says McCullum. Back inside it goes. Taylor, here's a reward. It's been a strong display from the little man, Paul Taylor. He picks up the dregs right under the post for the Eels. Well, he's played strongly. See it all again on the State Bank Big Game replay.
Well, here we go. There it was. There was the charge at the line there by Vernon. The pass away to Mosley. Went to Sterling. Dropped behind him. couldn't handle it. Around came number 19 there for the Red Scott, and he's able to get a pass away to Taylor, and Taylor's in for the try. That's a good reward for him. You've heard me mention in other parts of play that he's thrown lobby passes. Well, they've all worked. Every one of them's come off today at different times, and they've made him look good. They've made him look as though he's attentive to his supports, which he is indeed. I hope he wasn't holding a hamstring. Then he put his hand down on his thigh. Well, there he is, only a tiny little fella, age 28. He must be a midget, second rower. They would have spat him out in my day. They wouldn't have even considered him as a second rower.
2 from 5 for Steve Ella. He's taking this one back to the 10-metre line. A very disappointing day for the Tigers. No mistake. So Parramatta 26, Balmain 10.
Elias linking up with Rolls. Sterling takes him, so does Mosley. Elias to Roach, and then to Hemsley, and he's lost the ball. Peter Wynn stolen it from him. Well, Mosley ran from dummy half. Parrish grabbed him very quickly. The touch judge is in, so he's seen something from a Parramatta player. Referee McCallum holds it.
Well, we're looking for something here. I don't know what he saw.
Well, Hemsley's been called in. It is unusual for a touch judge to run in when a team's in possession.
I think he felt that he hadn't been noticed enough this half.
Well, Parramatta get the penalty. Normally a touch judge will rush in like that when the team with the ball has infringed. So Mosley now takes the tap free and takes the tackle. Vernon, 10 metres short of halfway. Vernon named in the original side. As Lindner almost got through a gap, takes it to the halfway mark. Taylor to Scott, then to Ella, and then quick hands to Kenny, but it's gone astray. Picked up by Balmain. Now what can they do as Pobji turns it back inside for Sirinen. There's an altercation in midfield between Scott and Pobji, but here's Parrish linking up with Hemsley, who's put it down. Now the touch judge is in. That'll be to report the bit of fisticuffs that nobody was hurt by.
I think he's going to report that Popji should be fighting at the stadium, because he threw a blow there that really was and missed by about 1.5 foot, but nonetheless, that's what it's going to be all about. He's going to caution those two lads that got involved in an altercation over the other side.
Brett Scott's the man who's being spoken to. 5 minutes in the sin bin. This will be for the interference back on Pobji and the penalty for the Tigers. Hasn't been much that's gone their way all day, especially in the penalty stakes. So the scoreline 26-10 in favour of the Eels. 13 from full time. Finds touch just 12 metres out from the Eels goal line. Ben Elias rolls. Maguire setting themselves. Sirinen is standing very wide with Roach. Roach can't handle it. Sterling can. Again, nothing goes right. Vernon. Solid hit from Hemsley. Peter Wynn. Mosley. Sterling picks up that loose ball, just takes the tackle right on the quarter. Paul Taylor's a dummy half. Misses Peter Ford. Kenny tries to stand his man up. Good tackle though from Clint Robinson. Delroy. Last tackle. Taylor with the kick. That's to an open field. Jack will have the support of Pobji and just the one chaser there from Chalmers. He decides to use Pobji up. Bobby Lidner's now made his way upfield. But Pobji beats him and he's brought down by Chalmers and also Ford. Gartner. Robinson. Pobji. Maguire. Still working that play up hard, out wide. Down to 12 men after the 31st minute of the game, the Tigers. Roach slips a good ball to Conlon. Gartner, he's gone infield looking for the ball now. Had very, very few chances. Last tackle. Rolls. Kicks deep. Delroy. Ben Elias is there and brings him down. Just short of the Parramatta quarter. Bella's line deep with Kenny. Gives that ball to Krankovic. He's back on the inside if the ball can go his way. Ella's there inside. Well, he goes under a high tackle from Russell Gartner. He's lost the ball. Well, Gary Jack wants to go on with it. Well, it's been continuing all day. Players taking an offence at all sorts of things.
Yes, the State Bank replay shows the swinging right arm that Russell Gartner very nearly got Kenny with. Kenny apparently has done a knee or some sort of damage to himself. Jack stole the ball from him at that time, and shortly after that we saw Jack put on an act, a very histrionic act that said that he wanted to get involved with fisticuffs with the entire Parramatta team by the look of it. I think he ought to just cool it a little bit. He's the number one. He's got an image to keep up. Yes, Kenny in full flight there, popped, and apparently something's happened to a knee. He's been in fine form today.
It'll be a tragedy for Parramatta if it is that serious. As Robinson comes on, they've already lost growth with a suspected broken arm. Mark Laurie has gone on for Parramatta. Now here comes Parrish, almost through the gap again. As the scrums, and look at that penalty count to Parramatta, 14-9. Now Sirinen, held by Taylor and Wynn. Here comes Roach. Mark Laurie in there, along with Ford to hold him. Rolls to Conlon, to Robinson. Last tackle now for the Tigers as Rolls puts it in the air and taken magnificently by Tony Chalmers. He's almost to his own quarter line. Delroy can't beat Maguire and also Roach. Laurie from dummy half. 26 points to 10. Parramatta a comfortable lead inside 10 minutes of play. And here comes Scott back on. And Parramatta still moving it beautifully with Ella. Ella's got support. He might not need it now. He's given it to Ford. What a try. Parramatta rubbing salt into the wounds as Peter Ford goes over to score.
Yes, the State Bank replay will show beautiful use of the blind side here of this ruck. It really is a classy bit of football. There's Peter Wynn started the ruck by coming there and popping a pass immediately to Krankovic. He got an inside pass there to Ella. Ella dummies here and sucks Jack over to him a bit more, and then back on the inside to Ford, who's unmarked and scores a very, very good try. That well thought out. Again, the blind side being the lethal dose as far as Balmain were concerned. There's Wynn's pop pass. This little lad gets a good pass away too to Ella, the veteran, who throws the dummy at that point and pulls Jack to him and then unloads beautifully to Ford, and Ford sprints away for about 20 metres to score a very, very good try. So Parramatta surging away now.
Peter Ford, who felt somebody's knees and his back too as he went over the line. 3 from 6. Stephen Ella, and he's taken it back to the quarter line and about 15 in from touch.
we don't hear any more about the 8-point try, do we?
No, we don't. Ella not hitting that particularly well from the side of his boot, but Parramatta have a very, very comfortable lead now, 30 points to 10. Well, the Tigers have not been growling today as Conlon sends it again. They've done that a lot, haven't they? They've kicked off an awful lot today, Balmain. Such is the way the game has gone. An impressive performance from Parramatta. Sterling up to Scott. Scott's got support from Ella. Does a juggling act, keeps it alive with Krenkovic. He's 10 metres from halfway. Back inside, his pass has been put down. Mark Laurie put it down. And Conlon falls on it for Balmain. Here comes Hemsley. Can the Tigers do something for their supporters that have travelled out to Parramatta to watch them play today? Rolls. They're going to get to Sirinen. Parramatta fans will be delighted with their side's performance. First up at their home ground for this season. The crowd has come out to see them play as Elias very slow to get to his feet. Plays it as we'll see what happens in this play the ball as well, roughed up a little. He's still down as Balmain swing it wide to Conlon. An even longer pass out there for Podgy. Podgy dummied to Parrish. Now Parrish has got it and running backwards about 10 metres. Back to Conlon. Back inside to Robinson, who's put it down. And the referee holding play now. This is back with Elias, who you saw injured when he tried to play the ball before.
I think he did get a blow to the head in the tackle. I think you'll find that there was reason for him being injured. That was young Clint Robinson coming on the burst and being unable to take a pass on the inside. Continuing Balmain's runabouts.
Gone with the scrum feed. Here's Laurie. 10 metres from halfway. Vernon. Almost to the halfway mark. Still working the same way as Mosley. Takes play inside the Balmain territory. There's Sterling. Right on halfway now as Sterling has it again. The kick downfield, bouncing over the touching goal line.
Chalmers gave himself some chance there from the kick through by Sterling. And if we pick it up on the left-hand side, you'll see Chalmers coming like a bat out of hell. And he gave himself some chance of getting to that. He only finished about 7 metres short.
As Balmain restart play, we ask ourselves the question. I think we raised it last week after the performance by Brisbane. What price if you can pick the final 5 in 88? Even more so now after this performance by Parramatta. So again, the fumble from the Tigers give Parramatta a chance in these last few minutes to add to the scoreline. Long ball from Sterling Lidner. And Delroy wrapped up by Russell Gartner. 40 metres out. Play really starting to grind down to a halt. Extremely hot day. Conditions starting to take their toll. Vernon up the middle. Mosley. Short blind for Peter Wynn. No support there for him. On the last tackle now for the Eels. Sterling. A little ploy to try and keep this ball in play, but that'll be too deep again. Just going dead in goal. Shake of the head. Thought he knew this ground better, he says to himself. Back to the restart for Benny Elias. Conlon. Short ball from Matt Parrish. Neither of these two players have stopped trying right throughout this game.
No, I thought young Parrish has had a pretty solid debut for a youngster.
Sirinen. There he is there. He has played well. Rolls. Robinson. Defence far too solid. Rolls. The kick. Delroy will have no trouble with this one. There's still plenty of yardage to be made. Beats Parrish, beats Conlon. Still going. Still going, Delroy. Great run from the fullback. Super run from Mick Delroy. Sterling. Mosley. Just looking for that last pass to put somebody through the gap. Win. Vernon. Time nearly up. Paul Taylor. Peter Ford. A bit of sloppy play. And McCullum says we'll take the scrum. Well, certainly has been a great start for the Eels. A lot of questions to ask about some of the players who have been out and missing from injury last year. Ella has bounced back strongly in 88. And a very solid performance from Brett Kenny too today.
Yes, I'm just a bit concerned for Parramatta that knee problem might be a severe one because it came from nothing.
Conlon goes without it. Delroy picks it up. A little bit of a serve there from Sirinen. Ella. Sterling still with the quick hands. Looking for runners. No one's there. This time he finds Vernon. Straight up the middle. In a bunch at the moment, Parramatta. Taylor. The kick ahead trying to turn Jack around. He beats Taylor easily. Brings it back just short of the quarter line. There's the siren. So the Eels, far too strong in their first home game at the Parramatta Stadium for 1988. And a great team performance.